and used was grown in Haiti. It was to the French. You can see why the French decided or wanted to hold on to it, because it produced great wealth for them. At the time of the revolution, the slaves, like in a lot of places in the Caribbean, far outnumbered the slave masters. I think there were anywhere between half a million to 750,000 slaves in Haiti at the time they began to fight for their independence, and 20% of the population would actually die fighting for its independence. The independence struggle began in 1791, and I think a lot of people have heard the story of a Jamaican priest named Duddy Boukman. That's the one that Pat Robertson was talking about, and where the rebellion, the revolution actually began. It had to do with some type of ceremony that came from, I think, the northern part of Haiti. When the Haitian people had declared their freedom and slavery was abolished, and the Haitian people took a lot of the French Revolution, which started 2 years prior than that. It gave a lot of impetus to the Haitian Revolution and the struggle there. And even there was a constitution that was written by Toussaint Louverture for the new country as it was being founded. But in the early 1800s, Napoleon sent his forces of 20,000 troops there to reconquer the island and to reestablish slavery on the island. And that's it. Like I said before, it hasn't been forgiven for that. And the quote that I had talked about earlier that came from Aristide, the one about the 200-year plot, the actual quote is, "Poverty is the result of a 200-year plot." In 1803 and in 2003, this is the same plot. After the revolution, when you go looking through the history of Haiti, you see a lot of what they want to make it appear as if there's always just been despotic leaders, and from the very beginning they were despotic. But one of the leaders, Jean-Jacques Dessalines, who was assassinated, was actually pretty progressive, and he nationalized all of the former masters' land, and he began to distribute it equitably amongst the people of Haiti. That's why a lot of people in Haiti had small plots of land for which they grew to food so they can consume themselves, to subsist off of. And that existed for a very long time. But he was assassinated in 1806 by a lighter-skinned person who became part of the elite. Most of us, when we, one of the ironic things about the history of Haiti is that for a long time after the revolution, Haiti was embargoed. It couldn't trade with France, with the U.S., and they tried to basically starve the Haitian people into accepting whatever the French had in their designs for them. And one of those things, or that the major thing that happened in the 1800s, was the fact that the French sent an armada of ships to the island of Haiti to extort from them 150 million gold francs. And this was to recoup the losses of the Haitian people freeing themselves. So it's sort of ironic, because the only people that have a claim to reparations would be the Haitian people for the free labor that was taken from them. But somehow the French feel it was their right to come back to Haiti and force them to pay them for their own freedom, and after they had already paid in their own blood and the blood of the French who wanted to keep them enslaved. And it wasn't until the Haitian people did this until when France acknowledged Haiti as a republic, and that's shortly after that. Actually, almost 40 years after that is when the U.S. finally did acknowledge Haiti. That wasn't until 1861. But it sounds like 1825 is a long time ago, right? But Haiti didn't actually pay off that debt until 1947. And in order to pay back that debt, they had to borrow money from private French banks at high interest rates. You see, one of the things that I'll get into a little bit later is that one of the things that led to the kidnapping of President Aristide is when he dared suggest that France pay back that money and pay reparations to the Haitian people for the work that, the labor that they stole from them. And there was historically the original colonizers. It wasn't until a little bit later, after the Spanish-American War, when the U.S. itself was thrust into the international scene as a world power, and began to see the entire Western Hemisphere as its sphere of influence, and that none of the other former the colonizers and imperialists dare try and assert their will over what the U.S. considered its territory, its sphere. In 1915, the U.S. occupied Haiti, invaded Haiti and occupied with Marines. And that occupation, which lasted until 1934, was responsible for the death of 30,000 Haitians. And it brutally repressed and put down a people's movement, and assassinated their leaders. But the thing that it did the thing that it did that ensured that it would be able to keep the people of Haiti under the boot heel of the white elite, and therefore, which is subservient to the U.S. ruling class, is that it established the National Army. And that National Army, is what has been, the scourge of the entire nation, has overthrown one government after the other. And some of the same leaders that actually started this so-called rebellion that occurred, when they came from, a lot of them were based in the Dominican Republic. These were people who were actually part of the army, that National Army, and some of them were actually in the Tonton Macoute, which was a paramilitary wing of during the Duvalier regimes. The Duvalier, the Duvaliers were supported by the United States, and it was probably one of the most repressive times that existed in the island nation of Haiti. They, like I said, they had the Macoutes, and the Macoutes basically survived off of extorting and massacring and brutalizing the population of Haiti. They were basically allowed to do whatever they want as long as they continue to be as repressive as the Duvaliers need them to be. They could steal whatever they want of what people produced and whatever money they could. It was just like this ultra right-wing, mafia basically that ran the country. But the people continued to resist against, these conditions that, that were forced upon them by this repressive Duvalier regime and his paramilitary force that existed alongside the army. For this whole time that the Duvaliers, the first being Francois Papa-Doc Duvalier, who was actually elected in a disputed rigged election in 1957, I'm sorry. From the time that happened until 1986, when his son, Jean Duvalier, Baby Doc Duvalier, the wages of Haitian people dropped, and you saw that there was a lot more investment that was coming from the United States, companies actually going to Haiti and setting up these factories so they can super exploit the people, but the wages, what people actually earn, dropped during that time. It was not until until Baby Doc began to be seen worldwide as, basically a despot, and that his force, the Macoutes, being highly repressive and massive resistance in Haiti alongside, national support, international support all around the world, that the U.S. began to feel that the Baby Doc could no longer maintain the situation in Haiti, and that they had to find somebody else to do it. And it's the way that they tried to do in Cuba when Mr. President. When Batista left, they replaced him they tried to replace him with a military general to make it seem as if this was a much better option for the people of Cuba, but obviously the people of Cuba saw beyond that. Well, in Haiti, there existed another repressive regime until the election of Jean-Bertrand Aristide in 1991. And from the very outset, from his election, you can see that in the United States, most people did not, they felt that the ruling elite in their military force had control